everybody. This video is going to be about how to properly approach a missing person's vehicle, one of the methods. It's primarily a video designed for law enforcement, fire rescue, search and rescue, first responders, family members. The general advice is to stay away from it. If you're the person that locates it, and that happens quite a bit in this region, family will locate things before first responders will. It's just the way it is. So as a first responder, this video is going to show you how to properly approach on foot and pick up visual indicators, visual clues, pick up directions of travel, looking for things going on around the vehicle as far as their behavior and what's going on before they leave the scene of that vehicle. We'll go into a couple of things on different surfaces, dirt, gravel, things like that, and then we're going to look at things out here in the landscape and in the environment that will further and reinforce what we've determined here at the car. So we're going to get on that. I'm going to have to put the wireless mic on here in a minute, and we'll go. I'm going to have a vehicle set up, and we'll show you what's going on. But I'll put the wireless mic on where you guys can hear me good from distance and watch from a distance, and then we'll go back and discuss individually what I'm seeing and what I'm picking up on the ground or on the vehicle that first responders need to be aware of when they go. So that's what's up today. Y'all hang tight, and we'll get her going. All right, so here we are in any given wood line you want, state park, national park, whatever you got. Looking for a missing person, got a vehicle description, and now we have visual contact with a vehicle up in front of us. It's quite a distance off, but already as soon as I get that visual contact, I'm scanning, I'm looking at the ground, I'm looking at the tracks where the vehicle came in. I'm walking on those tracks. I'm going to stay on them. Constantly looking for top sign or aerial spoor, looking for anything on the ground that's going to show me a sign of human foot travel. Going to just continue on in our tracks as we get closer to the vehicle. I'm going to stop this video now and show you how to do the actual approach as we get closer. All right, y'all, here's our missing person's vehicle. We've cleared the roadbed on the approach in all the way up until this point. I'm going to show you how to approach this vehicle and clear it, try to pick up a direction of travel, some sign, and then we'll come back here and talk about it. I want to show you a little something right here. This is just a flagging tape on a washer. Doesn't have to be this. You can use whatever you want. Surveying flags, anything you got will work fine for this process. What I'm going to do is I'm going to approach this vehicle on the tire tracks. I'm going to examine the tire tracks as I go in, see if they match up with what we've got back here in this little mud hole that we came through. And it also keeps me from contaminating other things. I've got one way in, one way out. As I go around this vehicle and search, I'm going to drop these at intervals and create a corridor all the way around the vehicle and right back out. So anybody that comes in behind me, they've got a way in and a way out without contaminating everything. So as we go, I'm going to talk about this stuff and show you how I approach. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm always scanning in the environment. We'll talk about that as I go too. So y'all get ready, here we go. Approach in the tire tracks, walk on the tire tracks. I'm checking out this foliage here in the middle of the trail, looking for any sign of human passage, anything that's bent the vegetation over. Looking out here from ankle level up to as high as a human can reach. I'm kind of scanning, seeing if I see anything that's out of place, things crossed, hooked together, broken. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Right on the tire tracks, I'm examining these. I see some sandy soil over here. I've got nothing in there to indicate anything. Scanning this side, I'm already looking at the rear of the vehicle. I'm probably 8 feet off of it at this point. Staying in the tire tracks, still scanning. Ground and top, or bottom sign and top sign, or aerial and ground spoor, whatever terminology you want to use. Now I'm up to the rear of the vehicle. I would have been dropping these a long time ago. I just don't have enough of them to do it. So there we go. So that's my way in. I'm scanning the tailgate, looking for handprints on the latch, looking for boot or footprints on the bumpers, looking at the toolbox already from here, looking over into the bed of the truck. Now I'm going to proceed up the driver's side, mark my corridor, and away we go. I'm looking at the tires, looking at the bed of the truck, looking at the handles on the toolbox, looking to see if anything maybe is left open a little bit. Maybe they got a backpack out, something like that. Looking on the ground, still scanning out here. Slow and easy. All right, now I'm approaching the driver's door. I do have a footprint, a track, right at the edge, right up underneath here, and I can also see a direction to travel out of here. So I'm not going to destroy that. I'm going to leave that intact. I'm not going to touch this vehicle. We may need to bring a dog in here later, and I'm not going to contaminate anything. So I'm going to look. I've got what I need. Up to the driver's door we go. Got my tracks out of here. I'm going to be careful not to destroy those. I'm looking in the vehicle, looking for anything that may be relevant to the missing person we're looking for. Is there a wallet in there? Is there a purse in there? Is there a pair of shoes in there? Whatever the case may be, I want to connect the dots. So I'm looking for anything that could be relevant inside that vehicle. Examining the door handle. All right, so there we go. We don't know yet if we have a passenger or not. Don't see any sign of it at the rear. We'll know when we get there. I'm not going to contaminate what I've got here. I'm going to sidestep it. And then around the front of the truck we go. So I've got my direction of travel right here. I'm going to step over that. Looking in the middle of the roadbed again at the foliage. I don't have anything. Around the front of the truck we go. Now to the passenger side. Same drill. I'm scanning. I'm looking low, looking high, looking on the ground. I've got nothing. At this point, I don't see anything. I've got nothing going on with the door handle of the truck as I approach it. I drop another marker to mark my corridor. I'm looking in the passenger side, looking at things like floor mats, seat belts. Has the seat belt been reused recently? Is there anything above the sun visor? Anything. Good to go, we're clear. I don't see any sign right there. I'm going to continue down, look at this side of the toolbox, look into the bed, check out the tires, make sure they match up with what we've already got going on. Stay beside the vehicle. Drop another flag. This is my corridor, marking in, marking my way out. Now I'm to the rear of the vehicle again. I'm looking on this side, looking for anything here, looking in the environment. Good to go. Drop my flag, and right back into my original corridor that I made coming in here. All right, so that's how you do it. How much time it takes, depending on what you're doing, what you're working on. Depending on what's happening in the environment. How long has this vehicle been here? So there's no set time. Take your time. It's better to do it right in the first 10 or 15 minutes than to screw it all up in the first 10 or 15 minutes. And that's generally what happens, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But that's the way we do a vehicle approach, and that's the way we prevent contamination. So stand by. I'm going to walk you guys through this, holding the phone and point out the things that I'm seeing as we go, and then you can match it up. All right, I'm gonna walk you guys through what I just did right here. As we approach on the tire track, you can see the pink flagging. This is my corridor right through here. This is where I stay. I don't want to get on either side of that. I'm gonna prevent contamination. Up to the rear of the vehicle, through our corridor, doing our examination here, looking for footprints, handprints, things over in the truck bed, whatever we got, we're looking for all of it. If somebody's touched this, I can guarantee you, as dusty it is out here, you can see that. So there's our other pink mark. So we're good here. Up the side we go, approaching the bed, checking out the toolbox, over into the bed. Everything out in here, everything in the environment. I don't care where we're at, we're checking out the environment no matter what. We're never focused right here. We're always focused everywhere. All right, up to the driver's door we go. Still in my corridor. Now, here we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. Whoop, that may be too much. All right, right there we got a footprint. If we look closer, man, it's hard to see. Right under the edge is a hill, and then we have our main disturbance right here. So I look on out right here, even from this distance. This is a good 6 or 8 feet out. There's a disc, toe dig, and a debris field. I don't know if you guys can see that debris field going right there. So that's giving me a direction of travel. So I've got my track, got positive contact, got another one right here. If you guys can see that, you can actually see some lugs in there. We approach the front of the vehicle, staying in our corridor. And here we go, there's another one right there. So I'm gonna just abandon the truck for a second and keep looking. Now here we are at the gate, at the fence. There we go, disturbance right there. Disturbance right there. Disturbance right there. All the way out of here. There's a track right down in there. I don't know if you can see it. And we got a direction of travel. Person walks right through here down to the edge of the road and out. So let's go back to our truck. We're going to stay inside of our corridor all the way around, sweeping, checking the passenger side the same way we did the driver's side. There's our markers. We're staying inside of this corridor, around to the rear, searching the rear again, into our corridor out of here, and away we go. So that's kind of what I'm seeing as I walked and approached that vehicle, just to give you an idea of what my eyes look at. All right, now let me show you what generally happens in this region when a missing person's vehicle, or it doesn't have to be a vehicle, it can be their yard, their mailbox, wherever they came missing from. This is generally what happens. Somebody's going to respond. If the family members have not already found this prior to first responders, they're going to be all over the place. I can promise you that. Can't blame them. But awareness goes a long way. So first unit shows up, whether it be law enforcement, rescue squad, fire rescue, whatever the case may be. The first person, generally probably going to be law enforcement, a deputy, a police officer of some sort, going to show up to the vehicle, and this is the way it's going to be. And then they're going to get on the radio and they're going to go, dispatch, I've got the person's vehicle here. Can you get the K9 unit out here, please? And they'll wander around the area looking for other stuff and contaminating things. So that's generally how it goes. Now, let's say 45 minutes to an hour to 2 hours later, whenever the first K9 arrives, we've already had the first responder here, if the family has not already done it, in the area, touching, doing, stomping. Now here we go with a K9 and a K9 handler. They're going to do a sweep of the vehicle. They're going to do a sweep of the area, contaminating more and more stuff. Now maybe they pick up the scent, maybe they don't. That's an unknown. It depends on the quality of the dog, its training. Maybe it lasts an hour, maybe it'll work for 6 hours. I mean, who knows? But what's happening during this time is that the things I showed you just a few minutes ago on the ground and going out of here remain undetected by the vast majority of first responders. They'll never see that stuff. They stomp on it, they walk on it without even realizing it. And that's, you know, it's not to knock anybody, they just don't know. So part of the reason of doing this video is to bring awareness to that kind of stuff. And this is just one of the methods of doing this. So what I'm gonna do is show you guys some aerial spoor, the passage of somebody going through foliage above ground level, kind of show you what to look for there and how to mark it, and then we'll wrap this video up. But you guys can see, man, how easy things can get contaminated. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about things through foliage, top sign. As you look around here, nothing's really jumping out. I did walk right through here. Let me show you some visual indicators of that. First things first is the upside down dandelion green right here. Actually, it's flipped over. Got a flat spot right in here. We have this vegetation, as you can see, is pushed forward. This normally would be up here, but because of walking through there, it's laid it over and pushed it down. You can see this foliage here is pushed, going in this direction. The grass, interwoven, it's been pushed and locked behind itself. If you look on out, you can see a flat spot right out here. And you got some different color change right here on this vegetation. Little bitty strand right here that's headed that direction, shows the direction of travel. So we'll come on through here, see if we can get a better look at it. Right there, headed in this direction. Grass laid over, so on, so forth, out of here. This has been broken, flipped upside down off of this plant. So the indicators are there. So if I were going to mark that for future use where I didn't want to lose it, a clothespin with some flagging tape on it, and I'm gonna hang it right there at the start of that. That's a marker to be used later where I can go back and examine that if I need to. So just a real quick tutorial there on aerial spoor and how to mark it. Keep your eyes open is all I can say. It's out there. All right, y'all, here's just another example. This is actually on hard packed gravel. As I approach this vehicle, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but as I walk around, I'm looking here, looking all around to see if there's been anything going on, looking on top of the trunk and things of that nature to see if there's any handprints. But I'm gonna come up here as I approach this driver's door. All right, I'm picking something up. I know you guys can't see it on this phone. The sun is directly overhead and just blazing down. So I'm gonna sidestep this over here, see if that helps. Not a bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this in closer. Right outside of this driver's door. See if we can get down here on it. What we have right there is the pivot where somebody has turned around. If you look at the cracks behind this rock, the dirt on top of it, that's where a heel impacted as I stepped out of the vehicle. It's right up under the edge of the door here. Turn around. I've got some other flat spots. I've got some stuff going on right in here, but they turned around, probably got their keys or something out of the vehicle, and then they made a pivot right here. It's hard to see in this light, but this little bitty rock right here should be in its socket right over there. Things out of place, so they turned. I've got debris kicked out this way. As you can see here, here's some of the material transfer here. So that gives me a direction to travel away from this vehicle in this motion. Got some more flattening here. Got more flattening right in there. And lo and behold, right on the edge of this storage building, what do we got? We got material transfer gravel, which that's also going to tell me that is a shoe with enough lug in it to hold that gravel. So exited the vehicle, turned around, got some things out of it, pivoted, don't, right up onto the edge of this storage building, in they go. So that's what's happening here on this gravel. So there's always going to be sign. It is always there. I don't care what surface you're working on, concrete, gravel, asphalt, it does not matter. It's going to be there. So train, man, got to train. All right, y'all, as you can see by the information I've put out in this video, there's a right way to do things, there's a wrong way to do things. Unfortunately, in this part of the country, the wrong way is predominantly what's done. We're working on it. Contamination can happen very easy. It can happen with a canine, it can happen with family, it can happen with a first responding officer or a person. You gotta be real careful with that stuff. The sign is always gonna be there. It's always out here, always. Why is it there? Because they didn't teleport out of here, okay? They had to make contact with this ground and they had to make contact with this environment thousands of times per mile. So it's always there. Just knowing what to do with this stuff on the front end can kill someone or save their life. As I make this video, we currently have a few counties over an elderly lady in her 70s, 80s, I believe, who has been missing now 6 or 8 weeks. They have no clue if she's in the Tennessee River, no clue if she's been abducted, no clue if she's wandered off into the woods to starve to death. They have no idea. She was last seen going to her mailbox. Now, that being said, that mailbox and that front yard of that home is no different than that vehicle. No different. You treat it the same, you examine it the same, and the sign will be there. Where that person went will be on the ground. We also have I believe she's 4 years old, over in Middle Tennessee. She's missing now, a couple of weeks or better, missing from her backyard. They have no clue where she's at. The evidence is in that environment around that home if that's where she came up missing from. It's just knowing what to look for and how to process it before it gets destroyed. So you guys share this stuff around. I'm not trying to be critical of anybody that volunteers. For goodness sake, no, thank you very much. You know, hats off to you. Volunteering is a great thing. Our law enforcement guys that are out here responding to these things, they do the best they can do. It's just knowing what to do. This kind of training and this kind of stuff is not really prevalent here. So share this around. Please approach these vehicles like that. And we're talking missing persons. We're not talking threats or suicidal people that have left their vehicle somewhere. That's a whole different ball game, and that video, or this video, doesn't touch on that. So that's what's up. Share. If we guys can help you, Fernando Morieta will be back here in November to run a few classes with us. I'm here all the time. If you guys need some training, want to get started in this stuff, give me a call and we'll get you going. And that's what it's all about, is saving people's lives. And we'll do it as cost effectively as we can, and we often do it for free. Come see us, y'all. Watch this repeatedly, and please share it. Thank you.